for now is just ease of execution compositions. I know we hear it time and time again, but I feel like that's just the way you go for top esports, because if you have that ease of execution, your team fighting, you know, internally is excellent. Once you kind of get past the early stages, you have your growing pains in the first 15 minutes or so. Past that, you really do start to look like one of our top teams. So let's see where they decide to go towards. Hovering over the Kai'Sa would be a good start in terms of, all right, is it going to be paired up with someone like the Wukong, and then of course the Rakan on 3 perhaps, things like that. BLG opt into that Nico first pick as it was left up and available through the ban phase.
I mean, this Nico is still... So, I know Nico was kind of busted, it's always been permabanned, but to give you an idea of why I'm putting Yagao as the premier Nico player here in the LPL, 100% win rate of 6 matches in this champion. They first pick it every damn time because they know just how incredibly powerful it can be. And for BLG, they would like to keep that trend going now into this game. But on the opposite side of this one here, Top Esports kind of leaning towards that JDG style, if you will. We're seeing Ruler pick up this Kai'Sa almost instinctively and showing just how powerful it can be. And I do like this pick because with the new builds, with the static shift and such, you do have that flexibility to go towards either AD or AP, depending on what your team needs. And BLG instantly respond there with the Cassante and the Kindred. They are getting their top half of the map into pure comfort.
Okay, so this is also kind of throwing down to Top Esports here, because now they have to pick either their mid lane or their jungle, and they are opting right now over the hover of the Azir. If they go towards this Azir, then Tian Champion Pool gets kind of knocked down a pinch. I'm not entirely sure how Top Esports feel about this position, but it seems like they feel quite confident in Tian's Champion Pool, it seems like, to eat a couple of bans here. For BLG, shouldn't getting his Kindred. It's something that is to be feared, not only internationally, but here domestically as well. So Top Esports are going to have to do a lot to deal with this champion, and I wonder what Tian has in his locker, because I anticipate that BLG are going to ban something like Poppy and then X, and then it's going to leave Tian with a couple of options quite limited. Maybe Sejuani as well. Yeah, Sejuani and then Poppy. I wouldn't be surprised if those are the 2 bans. Top Esports have the ability to kind of whittle away at Elk's champion pool. Seeing the Xayah kind of limits maybe some of the power of the Rakan, but not really. The Ashe as well, very powerful. I think that's probably going to push Elk onto the Aphelios. BLG, I feel like maybe you just look towards the Poppy, or is there something else I'm missing? The Rel has of course been very, very high prior with the Kai'Sa specifically. Does, however, mean that Top Esports still have the Nautilus if they really need to, but I'm very curious about what exactly Tian's jungle pick will be now. Viego is up as well, I guess, if you're looking for a little bit more skirmish, but I feel like you want more team for... Oh, Wukong, yeah, duh. It's sore thumb sticking out right now. That's probably the pick there for Top Esports, but no, they do go towards the Poppy. It's more about the early game in dealing with the Kindred, right? It's very easy to lock her down at times, and that's basically the idea of the matchup. You've also got the dash from Cassante, and if there was to be the Rakan from On, it does basically just give you an additional way to try and shut down that pick as well. Spoke about Elk and the Aphelios with those 2 AD carry bans. It felt like it was always going to be a bit of a given there, and BLG will take away the Nautilus, which does leave Mark with a couple of less favorable, perhaps, pairings with the Kai'Sa, but you can see the hovers there of the Leona and the Rakan, both pretty good. Rakan, little more struggle in the laning phase. Leona, a little bit more flexible down there in the early stages, but then Rakan, of course, would normally outshine in the team fights.
I love that BLG are kind of going straight into this kind of composition where they are looking to have that powerful jungler. We haven't seen Shun on the Kindred since MSI, where he did win 1 and lose 1 on that particular matchup against T1. So, you know, hasn't picked it all split, has been kind of a relative ban presence against the side of Bilibili. That they have seen it banned a couple of times against them, but again, nothing too exceptional. He has kind of let it go off to the side, and we'll see if it warrants that ban once again, as we do get the final lock-in of that Rakan, like you mentioned. So good team fighting coming in here from Top Esports. If they can scale up, you've got a Kai'Sa and a Azir, you will do so much damage from range, and it does feel like Bilibili will need to be the ones getting creative with their draft as they picked it up here.
Yeah, surprisingly so, right? I like this from Top Esports, though. It's a relatively simple comp. The engage, to a point, is somewhat limited, but if they can get lane priority and then be the ones controlling vision and forcing BLG to walk into them, then I feel like they're in a pretty okay spot. So I like where Top Esports have landed. I feel like for BLG, a lot of comfort, though, right? That's the crucial thing to me. Pretty much top to bottom, everyone has, if I had to wager a guess, almost their most played champion, with the exception of maybe Yagao on Nico because of how much it gets banned, but Yagao is one of our most proficient Nico players, so sometimes those things swing around like that. We're here! Game number 1 is kicking off for our match of the week, Oisin.
Is indeed. We're going to have our match of the week coming in here. BLG only falling to JDG so far this regular split. Top Esports have definitely looked good, but inconsistent to say the least. Took a 0-2 loss to WE earlier on in this split. They do not want a repeat of that if they want to try and be considered a top 3, top, you know, kind of summer split contending team. We are going to jump onto the rift for this first game. BLG versus Top Esports. It's second versus third. And even though these teams are both locked for playoffs, a hell of a lot of information to be garnered over for either of these sides before we head into our postseason.
Many more Jayos left throughout the season as well. Very loud today, as you would expect for BLG and Top Esports. No level 1 shenanigans for now. BLG weighted quite heavily towards the bottom side, perhaps expecting Mark to grand entrance over the back of the Dragon Pit wall. And they won't find him there. Both teams will just end up having a bit of a staring contest.
Let's see. So far, everyone just kind of fanning out, making sure there's no, as we love to say on this broadcast, shenanigans on this one. Or I see, yeah, shenaniganery. I feel like shenanigans is a very like British term, because in Ireland you'd say notions, like who gave you notions. Yeah, it's like if someone's like does something like similar to shenanigans, you would say like, oh my lord, you know, he's got notions about this, you know, he's got like ideas that he wants to try and go in. It's a real Irish saying to come out from it. But
hello.
Ooh, this ward though,
yeah, we'll spot him. Very curious.
Perfect information.
Yeah, it's basically perfect information. Now this is where things get interesting, because Tian, I think, was in the middle of his red buff. He's pulled off it now. So Shun should know this. Tian has smite. So even if he gets spotted, if he comes over the wall right now, he's
going to reset a smart from Shun. Yeah, very smart from Shun.
Ooh, okay, that's a bit awkward. If Tian took, or had a little bit more information and took the cone, could have been alright. Oh my god, Elf. Early cleanse. I just wanted to get rid of the Ignite. Good knock-up from Mark, though. Still a Summoner spell up trade. Of course, Ignite slightly short cooldown, so good pressure from Top Esports. And just good read as well. You understand the idea from Shun and his invade, but Tian, just read it well. But both sides have basically perfect information, like we've alluded both times. So as soon as they saw that Tian was no longer on the red buff, they were like, alright, let's ditch this invade. And Shun technically hasn't wasted that much time. He's actually at parity in terms of farm with Tian. And his path could be a little easier to navigate, right? All of his camps down on the bottom side. He can gank down here, even if Tian's on this side of the map for now. It could be the end of the world, and they're looking for it.
Good hook. Graviton is there. They're going to try and hold it. They're double locked down. There's the cleanse coming out here from JackeyLove as Shun makes his presence known. He has a red buff to try and slow down JackeyLove. Got the wolf coming in as well. Flash by JackeyLove, and Mark has to flash as well. That hook almost bringing him back into parity. But again, BLG making the most out of a bad situation. Invade didn't work. No problem. Go for a gank bot.
Yeah, JackeyLove and Mark were winning out in that 2v2 quite heavy-handedly. And just weren't expecting Shun to be on the bottom side of the map so early. He wins out on the Mark RNG as well, so not only does he have a first successful gank, he also actually manages to get both summoner spells out of JackeyLove and Mark. Might even be able to put a little bit of pressure on Rookie. He's already used his dash. Going to be a little bit of a health trade. It's going to be a bit awkward walking into the river here. And Poppy with Phase Rush. The thing about it is that if you ever walk up to a wall, you can never really re-engage as the Poppy side or as the Kindred side of the matchup.
Quite with Tian trading back that scuttle. Now level 3, full build, as we like to say on the broadcast there, as the steadfast presence, but is behind Bin on this top side. It may just flash over. Yep, looking for it. We will see the knockback though as Wayward. Not quite able to get the stun down just yet, but there is the slice and dice into the Cold of Meek, and that is first blood to Top Esports.
Yeah, Tian abusing this gank path. I think who was it? Was it Kanavi? I think I saw this as well on Ivern. End up in that top tribe rush and then. What the? Oh, it's the helicopter from
I also was just like, why are we whispering? What's going on?
It's such a weird noise. Anyway, really good path created from Tian. Hex flash over the wall. Not gonna find the stun. He should be able to secure his chicken, so feels good on that particular avenue. But yeah, Bin just caught out being a little bit too far up. Happens to the best of us. And we'll crash this big wave. Wayward's going to miss a fair amount of it. In fact, he's actually down a fair bit of CS. That first blood is definitely doing a bit of work to keep him up in the same gold value.
We'll see if Bing gets a plate from this, which he does. That's actually kind of worth it here, and it all goes off the fact that, yeah, I mean, it's straight up, but I mean, it comes down to the fact that we saw Top Esports so desperately trying to stop Shun from getting momentum with these camps because he went for the invade early. It put Poppy onto a weird timing. It doesn't really kind of work out in that regard, and that means that he was able to look for an invade, which then forced the TP to try and stop him from getting that second mark. So little small increments that we're seeing coming out here from Top Esports to try and stop this early game BLG momentum that we've seen so often in the season.
This is, yeah, Bin's probably dead here, guys.
I've seen this before. He does have
maybe
flash.
he gets 6 on this first minion. Maybe the second one.
Not quite on the third. No, there's going to be the steadfast presence. And they know where they want to try and focus here on the top side. Top Esports making sure their name does not go unheeded as they get Wayward another kill.
Yeah, really, really solid play. And I mean, it's really impossible to play out 2v1s on the top side dive. When one champion is Poppy, it's already hard enough, but Renekton obviously sets up so well for these plays. Was thinking maybe Bin would hit 6. Maybe he could make things awkward with an all-out, but unfortunately wasn't quite close enough to that XP mark. And on the bottom side, it will at the very least be traded out for this dragon, right? So BLG getting something stacking there. They could even maybe, it would be a bit aggressive though, they could maybe look towards that mark as well for Shun. Definitely on the cards as Tian's come to actually poke his head in. Looks for not only the dragon but just to get information. We'll see how aggressive BLG are feeling. That would be the second mark if they feel like playing for it. I suppose Kindred marks are kind of like a mini objective, right? But you have to remember, just because of how the map is, it will be first move from Mark and JackeyLove almost always. Yeah, I like the observers here hovering over the XP bar because unfortunately, he's just not close enough.
Oh, he's like one cannon minion away.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate.
Yeah, the wave stacked up a little bit too much there. That's one of those things where as a top laner, if you're thinking that you're going to be dove, you always want to just try and thin out the wave. And I'm sure Bin knows this, but he just couldn't really trade aggressively inside the wave alongside Wayward whilst knowing that Tian was still on the top side. It's a bit of a catch-22. Fortunately, now Wayward sits with 2 kills and a whole bunch of plate gold as well. And he is very, very accelerated in the matchup where, you know, you like to talk about it a lot. You say, you know, Renekton has to get ahead. Your wishes are being answered this time around into it, and Bin is going to have to put in a lot of work, not only to catch up, but also to stay relevant in the team fights later on.
And I love what we're seeing Tian being so proactive on this Poppy pick as well, as we do have the all-out on this top side. Shouldn't really be Wayward getting caught out here. Should be able to try and, at worst, flash away. But he's taking his trades very poorly. There's a flash into a flash into a Call the Meek. And Bin took too much that he could chew. Shun tries to flash over here, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill off Wayward. He's going to need a couple more stacks. One more auto! Shun makes it a 1-for-1. And finally, BLG get themselves on the board.
Oh, finally for BLG, yeah. I was looking a bit dangerous there. Bin's timing is actually quite good because he was playing around the Dominus, but he just couldn't quite find enough execution damage in the end to actually finish it up. I'm not sure if he missed out on any crucial spells, like a Q or something like that. Don't think he did. I think he dumped everything he could into Wayward, but unfortunately the Dominus came back up. But Shun, there to clean up the mess that was the top side play. On top of the Herald, level 6 advantage. Actually, no, Tian has level 6 now. Nice, BLG all in the mid lane, so I feel like for Tian and for Top Esports, this Herald might be a foregone conclusion.
And they're going to walk into Tian, who's going to use On as a little bit of a taxi, try and jump onto him, but a good flash away. Mark has to get away. Moonlight Vigil just completely whiffs. Elk is almost certainly going to have to flash here to try and keep himself alive. He does have the cleanse, and he's holding onto it very steadfast. They are picking up the Rift Herald, so it was a little bit of a skirmish there. Top Esports wanted to try and go for something, but again, good discipline from BLG. They get the Rift Herald, they get everybody out. All it cost them was literally a flash and a cleanse.
Yeah, a little bit awkward from Tian as well. Like, I think, like you mentioned, kind of using him as a taxi out almost. Could have also found the angle on for Elk, but I feel like Mark, JackeyLove a little bit too far away to make that play a reality in the end, unfortunately. So, not able to find out anything in trade proper, with the exception of Elk's cleanse, and that can definitely be big if they can find a bottom side dive. It's definitely something that Top Esports could look for. So far, they've been the aggressors for more lane with plays, but it's been specifically towards the top side for now, so let's see how things go. It's one of those really awkward moments, Sashin, where even though Top Esports technically have the lead for now, all of the kills are into Renekton, and, you know, there's that part of me that's saying, man, Renekton, you know, he sucks when it comes to the scaling, but it's just not been the story of Renekton's that we've seen recently in the summer season when it comes to team fighting. They don't seem to fall off anymore. It's a weird phenomenon. They kind of pop off as well.
Yeah. They always have the threat onto the AD carries. I specifically remember being in the Shy's plays on, I think it was on our top 5 last week, or possibly this week. I can't remember. You know, time is an illusion, or it's a construct that is created to help us with the passage of things. But yeah, I mean, just Renekton's, if he's able to get on top of the Nico, if he's able to, even onto the top of the Kindred, to deny, you know, an ultimate or so, like, yeah, land respite, thank you so much.
No problem.
That is key enough in itself. So really small things like that, the Renekton can still be huge. But I will hedge my bets a little bit and say that if I was to bet between a late game K'Sante and a late game Renekton, I'm going with the K'Sante, as we can see. Ooh. If he lands that, I think he kills him.
Yeah, so Bin had a lot of faith in the knockback there. He still had his E, so what he was trying to be a bit greedy, because he could have 100% confirmed the pushback if he just E'd and then W'd, but he wanted the E for the all-out, maybe for the auto-attack reset in that form. Either way, he misses out on the window, and now Wayward's going to come back with a full Gordring cut. Maybe if Bin's lucky, he has enough for the full mail. He's already got the Giant's Belt on the Bramble Vest, so yeah, there you go. It's a cheaper item than Gordring after all. So not the end of the world. And he's still going to be able to hold 1-to-1 against Wayward. In fact, I would actually argue, at this specific spike, I think K'Sante is a bit stronger. Just because of how much damage Thornmail, actually deals back to you. It's like 50 per auto right now at this point in the game. A lot of damage.
Good moves here from BLG. Shun kind of resetting, has the Kraken Slayer to maybe put down a little bit more priority in this bot side. We will have the Infernum. Not the greatest of guns to be sieging down a turret, as you will take aggro if someone's around. Dragon has spawned. Tian and Rookie looking to try and find somebody on a poor rotation. They will not spot out Shun. Now they will. Tian want to go over the wall. Yes, he does. And he finds them. The shuffle is decent. There's the Lamb's Respite, though, as Shun just tanking up all of this CC. Finally gets taken down. That Moonlight Vigil is a tickle, to say the least. TP from Rookie to go back up to the top side, so the K'Sante doesn't get much else, but good proactive moves from top esports to get priority around the Dragon, to kill off the jungler. Really well done. Yep,
really good stuff. Catch out Shun. As on was thinking about something. Oh, there's a teleport here. That makes things really awkward.
Yeah, JackeyLove had to flash, which means he doesn't have it for here. The Pop Blossom into him, all of his face. There's nothing you can do, and now Tian has to flash away over the wall. Without a jungler, it doesn't matter. They can take this Dragon because you can't contest.
Yeah, really, really awkward there. And the thing is, because Rookie used the Emperor's Divide down here, he didn't have it up in the top lane, I think, to stop Bin. I actually think I saw him on the minimap dash in to Bin, but couldn't actually stop him from making this play. So it feels a little bit bad. He might get a plate in trade, which will feel all right. But still, losing out the Dragon, play as well on the bottom side after what was a good bit of intuition to find out on Shun. Will certainly feel quite bad in response. It's a Cloud Dragon, so it's not the most combat-intensive soul in the world, but still one that's very, very powerful for rotations, and we've seen how important movement speed can be to quite a few champions in this game before. And yeah, they just catch Shun out as that ward and the vision fades, so they know he's probably in the tri-bush, and then they obviously spot him out on the vision, knock him into the wall. Very hard for him to move ever. And honestly,
like literally everything.
Yeah, they threw everything. Very close to just not being able to cast the ultimate. Like you mentioned, tickle from that Moonlight Vigil. Shun had a bit of a rough one after the early play. He's only got himself 1 stack, which has been quite surprising. I think the Skull, no, it was the Raptors that were the second, so he's still sat on 1 stack for now. See how many he can potentially for himself look to pick up. That is a weird...
It's so loud.
So
it's so loud.
I know. I remember I was watching the LEC the other day. Elk should be able to pick up this tower, yeah. It's going to be seeded by JackeyLove, where I think it was Kadra and Dracos had a mad game, and Niski was doing it every single time. I don't know if, because, you know, obviously we're on the Chinese client, so sometimes the voice lines are different. Well, a lot of the time the voice lines are different. I wonder if it's actually the
That is the best timing I think ever. Like, thank you, Yagao, for impeccable comedic timing. That was incredible. But go on. You don't know if it's what?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same. I can't remember if English VA Nico makes the exact same noise. Either way, it's hilarious.
It is very, very funny. And I don't know if it's just a volume thing either with our game and our spectator clients. Sometimes that can just be it, but we shall see. I'm gonna go in for an engage in this mid lane. Kind of hard to get anything else off of this. Tian does not have flash, and that means he's gonna be CC'd down. The flash in to get the pop blossom under Mark, so there's absolutely no way they're gonna turn this one around. There's the Moonlight Vigil under Mark. Oh. No flash from Elk means that he gets caught out, really not respecting the Emperor's Divide. As all 4 members are left alive from both teams find themselves in the mid lane. There is still a Rift Herald here, but I don't think Top Esports can really go for it.
No, I don't think they can. Without Tian, it's a little bit too risky, so it's just going to be a trade of AD carry and jungler, and then a reset back out onto the map, it seems like. Helmets blown from Top Esports have pretty lengthy cooldowns at this stage in the game, so let's see whether or not they can get them back. Same thing for BLG, but they still have the all out from Bin. And of course, Shun's own ultimate, Lamb's Respite, which can obviously turn fights around. As BLG, they've had 100% control of the Heralds and the Dragon so far, all the objectives. All just kicks off because Mark and Tian are still in this brush. Mark has the ability to dash out, obviously, but Tian cancelled the channel on the Hex Flash and just kind of keeps him in place, unfortunately. Now, Elk just has eyes for Mark. He just has eyes for Mark. That's it. He just tunnel visioned a bit, and unfortunately wasn't paying attention to the Azir in front of his face. As we come back out of the replay, they're on the Herald, but BLG are here to fight.
Oh, flash in onto Shun. They're trying to CC him down, but he gets the Lamb's Respite off regardless. Now the Rift Herald's kind of left in a no man's land. The Pop Blossom could be huge, but they've already taken down the jungler. Tien has been traded back as well. It's a double kill going over to Elk. Top Esports, they find themselves on the wrong side of the map, and they're trying to go for this one. The all out to bring Mark away. The Kaisa secures the Rift Herald. But at what cost? We're going to see a W. Not going to land it. The flash forward into the tangled barbs. Not able to get it. Oh, my lord. Just about see Bing going for it. And wait.
What? I thought Top got it.
Wait. JackeyLove's thing came up. What?
JackeyLove came up with the icon of Herald, right?
Yeah,
we're not crazy.
It was red and it was Kaisa, right? I don't know how Bing picks it up. No. Bing doesn't pick it up. Okay, wait, no, he did pick it up. Sorry, I'm an idiot. He dropped it straight away. How'd that happen?
I
need a replay. I need a replay. My mind
replay immediately, game. There's no way. Okay, we're just bad at our job. So, either way, great turn from Top Esports onto Shun immediately. Rookie's Emperor's Divide is seconds away from being up. So if they could have swept him out of this Lamb's Rush, it could have been huge. Shun gets killed in the mix-up. Tien's in the mix-up. Wayward's in the mix-up. Now, who gets that? I could have sworn. Either way, in this mix here, Yagao, great Tangle Barb, Elk as well, but didn't. Okay. It was just on. We got baited. It's fine.
We got baited so
BLG
hard.
did get it. BLG did get it. BLG did get it. BLG did get it.
Yeah, really well played. We're going to come back in, though, because the action's not going to stop. Our minds have been blown.
Another dragon.
They need to come back and be reconstituted for this fight, because we're going to see Top Esports looking to contest this one once more. This dragon has been started. It would be sole point here for BLG. Top Esports know how important this is to kind of keep away from the BLG side. We're going to reset this one. Elk, though, has got perfect guns for this one here. They're going to let it reset. There's the Keeper's Verdict, though. It gets completely negated, and they're going to try to go in with the quickness. The Pop Blossom to disengage. It's all gone wrong. JackeyLove and Rookie just can't make themselves any kind of room to make presence here. Bin goes in onto Rookie, who looks for the Emperor's Divide. Rookie puts them right on a plate to JackeyLove, but JackeyLove shotguns himself in. JackeyLove looking for the fight, but he gets caught out by the Giga Bin. And BLG will come out with the fight, but it costs them 3.
Top Esports' frontline just can't fight into all of these AoE abilities from BLG, and like you mentioned, Elk had the perfect guns. Every single time Yagao presses his Archie, it just feels like anyone caught in that field dies. On the back end of that team fight, Rookie found a massive scoop, but it just wasn't enough because Cassante was hit, and that means Gigabin was hit, and they clean up what was remaining of Top Esports. Heroics attempted by JackeyLove and Rookie, but BLG will still pick up this third dragon. I'll put them one away from this Cloud Soul in that tower as well, secured by those minions. So everything comes up BLG. Yeah, look at it all, because again, you know, perfect guns here from Elk. He's able to stack up the chakrams really efficiently, and On cancels out. I can hear the Nico in the middle of the replay. Either way, great dredge line. But look at this, all 3 members caught in the Pop Blossom just die immediately, and no one can touch Elk. It's like the backline access from the side of Top Esports, it's so limited if it's not them engaging kind of past Yagao I suppose, right? The Emperor's Divide is sick, but again, there's not enough damage at this point in the game for JackeyLove to really clean this entire thing up, and he's locked down by Bin. As you come out of the replay now, Baron's going to be up, so you know both these teams are going to jostle around it. No doubt about that. And Top Esports are, for now, on the back foot by almost 3,000 gold, and it's not necessarily a fake 3,000 gold either. BLG have 2 completed items on the top side, 4 Shun and 4 Bin.
I mean, 3,000 gold is 3 dragons, but I just want to highlight, like, yes, BLG are coming out on top of this, but it shows you just how close these team fights are. The fact that Rookie and JackeyLove quite literally nearly 2v4. There was a 100% a world there where they come out there with all the kills. JackeyLove looks like a god, and they almost play it perfectly. You got to remember, that was Rookie without Flash because he didn't have it from the previous skirmish. And this is all these small little differences. These guys are playing at such an intensely high level that it does feel like BLG are just, again, proving, like you mentioned, we talked about what's the secret sauce. The secret sauce is that they're just better. And I mean that in a genuine sense. Like, this team has come into the 2023 split, the 2023 season, and has blown me away by the ceilings they've been able to play around.
It's such a fantastic story for BLG. No matter how you look at it, the fact that they've been able to actually meet the expectations, I think, that were, you know, kind of levied against them when the roster was put together. Not necessarily in the most serious manner, but certainly in one that you couldn't, you know, turn your nose away at. This was a roster that, by all intents and purposes, should have been contesting the top half of the LPL, right? That was what it was intended to do. And to see them actually pull through on it, right? It's one thing about expectations. You see so many rosters put together in modern day where a bunch of names get chucked together and then they don't really succeed. Cough Vitality. And in this case, BLG really delivering on the promise of, you know, the amount of money invested in some of the rosters. And to see them actually do it, go to the finals at MSI, almost, or be the only team really that's been able to hold a candle to JDG when they're actually on form. It's very, very high standards that they've met, and so far in this series, in this game 1, they've met very high standards as well.
Come back into live. Dragon in 2 minutes, Baron on the board. 22 minutes on the scoreboard there. It's only about a 4,000 gold lead, so it's not impossible for the side of Top Esports to come back onto this. They've got decent, not even just decent, very good wave clear with the double Nashor's Tooth for Rookie and for JackeyLove. We will see On nicely using his hook there, and yeah, a little bit of a bait. Tian recognizing he was going to get bursted down so quickly. Look how quick Elk was able to get those chakrams up, and now it's Tian, no flash, and all of his health gone. He can't stay here. They're going straight for the Baron. This decisiveness is so key right now. Tian trying to heal up a little bit off of the camp as Top Esports TP themselves and their solo laners here. Hook goes wide. They get the double TPs out. Wayward flashes in. Tian on the side does get the Keeper's Verdict here, but in a 4v4, you still tend to favor BLG. They don't favor themselves right now. Shun finally finding himself back into the fray. But both TP, sorry, not both TPs, but the TP from Rookie burned here was all that BLG wanted. Yeah,
BLG get that. Still have Wayward's teleport to work with, but I'm not sure if that's really going to matter. Dragon spawning in 6-second time already. So that's Cloud Soul available for BLG. Top Esports need to actually just contest this and hope they can actually win it out. Starts off, this is how they find Tian. Oh wow, Stretch Line, yeah. Stretch Line cancelled out the E. I didn't catch that. The fact that he gets chunked out, let's just make that work. But for Top Esports, able to push away. Oh no. Oh, Jackie.
He thought about it. He almost got it. Mark nearly gets caught out. I also want to make a quick note here, just to show you how like resilient of a player Bin is. Bin is 19. I want to put stop myself because there's going to be a flash. Quickness has to be used by Mark to make sure he doesn't die.
No narrative.
No narrative whatsoever. But like 19 years of 19 years of age, and he went 0-3 in lane. He is now 5-3-7, so he hasn't died since those 3 kills, and he has 100% kill participation. This guy is a monster. Just being able, like, imagine going 0-3 on something like this and still coming out on top, effectively in all senses of the word.
Gigabin. Gigabin. Gigabin.
I can't hear you. It needs to be louder.
It needs to be louder. Gigabin. No, I'm kidding. BLG, though, taking full advantage of their top laner, and just ensuring that he can bodyguard Elk for now in the mid lane, and it will just secure BLG. It's Cloud Soul, so it does put Elder on the map. And I do wonder if that's a point of concern now for BLG. I would have really liked to see them actually get a Baron start and takedown so that they can actually put this game, not necessarily to bed, but put Top Esports in a bit more of an insurmountable position so that life gets quite hard. There's another stack. Actually, we spoke about Shun like 6 or 7 minutes ago and how he was only on 1 stack. He's now on 5, so that turnaround was quite quick, to say the least. But BLG certainly want the Baron now. They need to take that down because the wave clear available and some of the range tools that Top Esports have does make it kind of difficult in my mind for BLG to siege. They do have engage tools, but it's realistically just the Nautilus and kind of hoping that the follow-up is clean. So can be quite easy for Top Esports in that mind to defend. So BLG need to break that apart, set up vision a little more aggressively around this Baron, or just start up if you want to bring them in. Yeah, sure, why not? That works too.
Think about it. You just got the Cloud Soul, Pop Blossom, all out, the Nautilus ultimate, everything that can come in. You know, there's so many little things you got to be careful of. Kai'Sa's nowhere to be found here. JackeyLove looking for a little bit of a move. The Hex Flash to try and get an angle. BLG want to fight. BLG want to catch somebody out. We'll say, though, Top Esports take advantage of this and call the bluff just a little bit, just to gain them a bit of more of an advantage in that mid lane. But Top Esports not to be outdone just yet. We can see Shun moving in to try and get a little bit more of that.
Is it so loud? I'm sorry, it's so distracting.
Top Esports, yeah, everyone needs to get out of here. Tian very lucky to get the Hex Flash out. And no flashes earned.
It's really making me lose it.
You know what the funny thing is? It's actually really tilting. Like, I'm not even playing against it, and I'm really tilted by it. But a ward will spawn out now.
Okay.
Top Esports need to keep their mental going for themselves. They do see a ward of BLG on the Baron. We're going to see the Nico putting down a fair bit of damage on the Wayward. Wait, On screwed up his Hex Flash. We didn't get over the wall. Now Tian in the back of the pit. We're going to see the quickness come in. But Mark, already so low, has used the flash. The Moonlight Vigil. It's fish in a barrel. They're going to have no way of getting themselves out of this one. Tian, though, now out of the pit. The Pop Blossom, the flash in, the catch out. Wayward keels for so much, but it's only to delay the inevitable. BLG definitively putting their foot on the throat of Top Esports and say, you belong below us.
They want to put the game to bed as well. Top Esports, the approach was so messy there. I'm not sure they really had much of a plan. Wayward was in the river. Top side, it was Tian trying to get in potentially to the pit, and then you had Mark, I think, JackeyLove and Rookie end up inside of the pit ahead of them. Very, very strange attempt from Top Esports to make that Baron one that would be very difficult for BLG to secure. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So JackeyLove and Rookie kind of behind the pit. Yeah, all right, bit of a botched Hex Flash. It happens. Tian goes in. Mark finds his way into no one and dies after the Moonlight Vigil hits, and Rookie and Tian are then left alone to the Wolves, and JackeyLove, I guess, actually never went into the pit. He was alongside Wayward, but again, he wants to kind of be a dive buddy alongside this Rakan, and I just feel like there isn't enough front line that can feasibly dive and not get one shot by the BLG composition at this stage that makes that a reality. Now they're being collapsed on.
No.
Mark's in trouble.
Mark is in trouble, and Mark is dead. Rookie drops down the Shurima's Legacy, but it's actually been just ignoring him and saying, you know what, I'm a TP mid. I'll make sure that we're getting everything else, because On shall not be taken out here. Bin will make sure that mid lane doesn't even have any hint of pressure against it. They will have to take down this turret, though, in this bottom side, but again, like, it doesn't do anything at this stage in the game. And look, there's only so much you can do. Bin gonna 1v3 at the moment. They can't even go in on top of him because Shun's in the wings waiting for anything crazy to happen. Bin just feels emboldened. What are you gonna do? Try step up to me if you can, because I don't believe you can. Bot lane, top lane, mid lane, they're all being pushed in right now. And BLG are starting to accelerate this goal, and this is exactly how BLG have been playing all split long.
Yeah, there's been no breaks. Oh, On gets his way out of the heroic charge.
Mark probably going to die there if he doesn't get himself back to safety. So yeah, he's already backed out. Never mind, he's dead.
Nope, he's dead.
He's already gone down without your real engage now to come in. This just feels like it's BLG's game to really finish off. Wayward flashes in to try and take out Shun, and Shun has himself a Lamb's Respite to save his soul. Great hook here from On. This man has been exceptional for BLG all year long. The ace comes in. BLG home run all the way to the Nexus, and they will take the 1-0 advantage over Top Esports.
Slaughter. Absolute massacre. Game number 1. BLG maybe put under a little bit of pressure in the early game, but after that, after the first 10 minutes or so where Top Esports found very creative,